Hey guys, tonight we ride into a place where the dust never settles. The whiskey could strip paint, and one wrong look could lead to a funeral. Welcome to the Wild West, where trouble doesn't need a reason to find you. So, before you get too comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Please drop a comment to let me know where you're tuning in from and when it is over there. Seeing who's joining this sleepy adventure worldwide is always a joy. Now turn off the lights. Maybe switch on a fan if you like that soft hum in the background. And let's drift into tonight's journey. You arrive in Dust Bite Gulch on a scorching golden afternoon. The wind slaps sand into your face like it's testing your commitment to survival. Unlike your resolve, you step off a rickety stagecoach and your suitcase hits the ground with a thud. This town looks like everyone's got unresolved business with everyone else. From the rooftop guy polishing his rifle with his beard to the old lady throwing shoes at. Chickens for looking at her funny. Everyone stares at you like you just accidentally married someone's wife. The sign hanging in front of the saloon reads, Dust Bite Gulch. Population depends on the day. This is where census records are kept in the graveyard behind the church. You blend in by walking into the saloon, a lopsided wooden structure seen in multiple shootouts. The door cracks open like it's questioning your life choices. Everything is coated in a haze of smoke, sweat, and whiskey that has expired since the last war. The banjo player stops strumming. The woman chewing a cigar mid-poker game looks up. A large man nods once, then returns to a heated debate about whose cow is dumber. You inch toward the bar, sitting on a stool that appears to be made from 3 different chairs and a piece of coffin. The bartender is a red-haired woman with a blacksmith's arms and a voice like a growling tiger. "What will it be?" she growls. You swallow hard. "Something light." She nods and pours you a brown liquid. That smells like someone mixed firewood with sheer determination. You take a sip and are immediately transported back to an era before your digestive system existed. The man next to you, bushy beard, guns on both hips, and one strapped to his leg, snorts greenhorn. You grin weakly like the stool beneath you. When you think it couldn't get worse, the saloon doors burst open. A man goes flying out like a sack of potatoes. Someone yells, "He said tacos are better than chili." You realize that even taste buds can get. You killed here. A woman in a cowhide dress approaches. She's nearly 6 feet tall, has a dragon tattoo, and holds a whip. "You the wedding singer today?" she asks. Before you can respond, a voice shouts from across the room. "No, he's the wanted man. Look at the ring on his right hand." Silence. Someone cracks their knuckles. A cat in the corner leaps onto a table in terror. You slowly stand up, smiling nervously. I was just asking for directions to the post office. No one answers, but from their eyes, you know. You should run. Now you bolt out of the saloon, suitcase in hand, hat flying off into the wind like it's disowning you. An old man near the church watches and mutters, "Another lost soul?" You hide behind the stables, gasping, heart pounding like a war drum. You've been in the Wild West for less than 30 minutes, and you've already nearly been beaten, mistaken for a criminal, and recruited to sing at a wedding. But you're still alive for now. And that's worth celebrating as long as you don't drink more of that stuff. You look up at the sunset staining the sky orange and you know tomorrow won't be easier. But first you need a bed and a place without knives angry horses, or women with whips. Congratulations, cowboy. You survived your first half day. And this is just the beginning. You thought that after your dramatic escape from the saloon, you'd get a few peaceful minutes to breathe, reflect, and consider returning to accounting. But no. The Wild West doesn't allow peace, because the first thing you see when you peek out from behind the stables is a goat. Not a normal goat, a white one, curly-haired with an expression like it's silently evaluating your survivability. It doesn't bleat, just stares unblinking. Eyes that say you won't survive till noon, kid. You look away, step back, and bump into something hard, cold, and smelling faintly of boot polish. It's a pair of boots. Above the boots, a wide leather belt with a gleaming silver star. Sheriff, you look up slowly. It's like a slow-motion scene from a bad Western. Standing before you is a man in his 60s, tall as a telegraph pole with enough beard to smuggle a pistol in. His eyes are sharp as a whetted blade. His smile does not exist. "You new in town?" he asks, voice as even and calm as a cocked revolver. You nod, sweating bullets. "You know you just ran from a bar fight, right?" Another nod, then a wee. "I was just asking for the post office." He interrupts. "We get one of those every week. 3 of them were bandits. One was a poet, still unsure which is worse." You stammer. I just need a place to sleep. There is one. Jail outpost's got a bed." He turns. "Follow me." You follow like a housebroken pup, praying the jail outpost has a mattress. It does not. It's a tiny wooden room with a rusted iron cot and a blanket thinner than a gambler's excuse. He points here. "Sleep. Tomorrow we'll talk more. If you're still alive." "Still alive?" He nods. Dead serious. That goat doesn't stare at anyone for more than 3 minutes. If it's still there by morning, you've got a special destiny. You glance out the window. The goat's still there, still staring. A slow bee rises like an ominous soundtrack. You sigh and lay down, hugging your bag like it contains your last shred of hope. The room is quiet, aside from the whistling wind and the distant rattle of chains from the next cell over. Someone is snoring loudly. It could be a prisoner, it could be a bear. You decide not to ask. A little later, the sheriff creaks open the door and steps in, carrying a steaming tin bowl. "Eat," he says, setting it on the table. You sniff it. It smells like meat stew, and resolve. "What kind of meat?" you ask wearily. "Chicken." Maybe whatever collapsed in front of my porch last night. That's what it is. You hesitate, then decide. It's better to be full if you have to run. You eat. It's not bad. Hot, salty, a little weird. But out here, that qualifies as 5 stars. Night deepens. The wind howls like it's telling ghost stories through the cracks in the wall. You wrap yourself tight in the blanket, dreaming of air conditioning, sandwiches, and bathrooms with doors. But before sleep fully claims you, you glance once more out the window. The goat is still watching. You whisper, "If I'm still alive tomorrow, please spare me." It blinks. You don't know if that was a hallucination or a promise. Good night, cowboy. This was just day 1. You wake up feeling a little too alive. No one broke into your room. No one shot you. And most unbelievably, the goat is gone. In its place, a chicken perches on the windowsill, staring at you like it's here to apologize for last night. You're not sure if that's a good omen or just breakfast showing up early. The church bell lets out a weak ding. Not the kind that wakes you up, but the kind that says someone really tried and then gave. Up halfway, you drag yourself out of bed, your back aching like you spent the night sleeping on a pile of bent spoons. The sheriff is already standing there somehow, as if he doesn't sleep, as if he stands and nods through the night. Up already, he says without waiting for confirmation. Time for breakfast. Hope you like beans. You do not like beans, but you do like living. So you beam. Fantastic. I like beans more than oxygen. He nods. Good. Around here, breakfast is a survival ritual. If you can eat it and stay conscious, you're fit to leave town. You follow him to the cook shack, a wooden lean-to outback, where smoke rises from a cast-iron pot larger than your faith in mornings. Inside, a round, shirtless man stirs something bubbling with a tree branch. He's wearing an apron that reads, "Kiss the cook if you dare." "New guy?" he asks without turning around. "Yes," you reply. "Just passing through." "Uh-huh. They all say that. This town's got a way of keeping people." You don't like how he says keeping. You sit at the wooden table and feel something stick to your pants. You don't ask. You don't want to know. A plate of beans is plopped in front of you. No spoon. It's just a piece of bread more complex than the resolve of a tax collector. You use it to scoop the beans. It fails, but it makes the beans look more like food. You take a bite. It tastes like hot mud boiled with disappointment. Something's burnt, you say. "Thanks," the cook replies, beaming with pride. Suddenly, bang. A gunshot rings out outside. You jump, sending beans into your lap. "Oh, just the hunter testing a new rifle," the sheriff says, sipping his coffee. "Or someone got betrayed. Either way, it's fine." You wipe yourself with a napkin that looks like it served 3 generations. Do you always hear gunfire over breakfast? Better than funeral music. Means the guy still had bullets. Your mood does not improve, but you finish the beans anyway out of politeness or sheer bravery. After breakfast, the sheriff leads you to Main Street. "Now," he says, "you need a job if you don't want to end up on the suspicious drifters list." "A job?" "Yeah. Everybody pitches in except for the goat. It has diplomatic immunity. You're not sure if he's joking. You don't dare ask." "3 choices," he says, holding up 3 suntanned fingers. "Haul water for the saloon, mind the blacksmith's fire, or deliver a letter to the lookout post on the hill." Letter. Your eyes light up. Sounds easy. Not really. That hill's got wolves and one-eyed Larrys hiding out there. But the letter itself, very light. You think for exactly 4 seconds, then say, "I'll haul water." He nods. Smart. But don't spill it. Water's worth more than gold out here. And the saloon lady has a broom she's not afraid to use. You're handed a bucket and a map. Just a paper that says, "Turn left after the broken outhouse." And just like that, your first official day as a working resident of Dustbite Gulch begins. You survived breakfast. You dodged a deadly delivery mission. And now you're holding a bucket, actually contributing to society. You survived breakfast. You dodged a deadly delivery mission, and now you're holding a bucket, actually contributing to society. A goat crosses your path. It's the goat. It winks. You're not sure if. You should feel hopeful or start writing a will. You begin your day in a new role. The saloon water hauler. No prestige, no pay, no insurance, but at least it doesn't involve wolves, gunshots, or delivering mail to a wanted man named One-Eyed Larry. Following the sheriff's instructions, you cradle a tin bucket bigger than your retirement dreams. Turn left after the broken outhouse. Go past the pile of burning tires and watch out for the demon chicken. It hates strangers. You follow the directions exactly and still get chased 20 meters by that chicken. You arrive at the well after a soft fall into hay and a brutal hit to your dignity. A low brick structure, cool water, crystal clear, surrounded by 3 old ladies playing cards. One of them looks up and says, "Careful, sugar. This well takes water and your pride." You smile politely. She smiles back like she knows you'll be drinking shame before noon. You draw the water and pour it into the bucket. It's heavy, very heavy. The heavy that makes you question all your morning decisions. But you grip the handle, brace yourself, and start walking like a hero with no upper body strength. The walk from the well to the saloon is just 3 blocks. But with the weight in your hands, it feels like migrating westward via a bucket. You round a corner, the saloon now in sight, when you hear, "Wow!" Something or someone tumbles off a rooftop, crashes into a cactus bush, and pops up like gravity never happened. It's a man. Messy hair, a torn shirt, and a smell like whiskey are fist-fighting garlic breath. He dusts himself off, sees you, and his eyes glisten. You're the water angel," he says, voice slurred but poetic. "Grant me a sip, O muse of moist salvation." No. He drops to his knees, hugs the bucket, and whispers to the water. "You are the source, the love, the poem not yet penned." You look around, hoping someone might help. No one. A dog nearby turns away in embarrassment. "You're a poet?" you ask, trying to stay polite. "I am the unsung song, the broken verse in a dusty land." I thud. He collapses face, first into the dirt, snoring like a tractor. You stand there holding your bucket with a passed-out poet draped over your shoes. For a moment you wonder, what even is your life? Across the street, the saloon owner leans out, hands on hips. "If that bucket doesn't hit my hands in 5 minutes, I'll pour bourbon on your head and light you like a lantern." You carefully extract your bucket from the poet's grasp, sidestep his tangled hair, and resume your journey, now soaked in sweat, dust, and deep regret. At the saloon door, the 001713 to 001838. Wooden flaps cack open like they know you're the protagonist in a hard knock chapter. The saloon owner snatches the bucket from your hands. Heavy. Good. Next time, don't let it soak in verse. You bow like a Royal Academy graduate. Turn to leave and crack. Your wrist just made a sound. It's not painful, but loud enough to promise tomorrow will be memorable. You flop onto the saloon steps panting. It's not even noon. You've been chased by poultry, fondled by poetry, and betrayed by your effort. A man approaches, leather coat, medicine.
Your back feels like you slept on a pile of bent spoons. The sheriff is already there, as if he has never slept. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he just stood there all night watching you, nodding occasionally. "Awake," he says, not waiting for your nod. "Time for breakfast. Hope you like beans." You don't like beans, but you do enjoy living. So you beam. "Wonderful. I like beans more than oxygen," he nods. "Good. Around here, breakfast is a survival ritual. Anyone who finishes and stays conscious is cleared to leave." Town, you follow him to the cook shack, a wooden shed behind the jailhouse, with smoke billowing from a cast iron pot bigger than your faith in today. Inside is a round, shirtless man in an apron that reads, "Kiss the cook if you dare." He's stirring the pot with a tree branch. "New guy?" he asks, not turning around. "Yes," you say, "just passing through." "Uh-huh, everyone says that. But this town has a way of making people stay." You don't like how he says stay. You sit at a wooden table and feel. Something stick to your pants. You don't ask. You don't want to know. A plate of beans is set in front of you. No spoon. It's just a piece of bread tougher than a miner's morals. You use it to scoop beans. It fails, but at least it makes the beans look like food. You take a bite. It tastes like dirt boiled with disappointment. "Something's burnt," you say. "Thanks," the cook replies, smiling with pride. Just then, bang, a gunshot rings out outside. You flinch and dump the beans in your lap. "Oh, just a hunter testing. A new rifle," the sheriff says, sipping coffee. "Or someone getting betrayed. No big deal." You wipe the beans off with a napkin that looks like it served 3 generations. "Do you hear gunfire during breakfast often?" you ask. Better than funeral music. Means the other guy's still shooting. Your spirits do not improve, but you finish your beans anyway out of bravery or basic kitchen courtesy. After breakfast, the sheriff walks you to Main Street. "Now," he says, "you'll need a job if you don't want to be. Listed as a suspicious drifter." Job? Yes. Everyone pitches in around here except for the goat. It has diplomatic immunity. You're not sure if he's joking. You don't dare ask. 3 options, he continues, raising 3 sunburned fingers. Haul water for the saloon, watch the blacksmith's forge, or deliver a letter to the ranger post up the hill. A letter? You perk up. That sounds light. It is. But the hill's got wolves, and a fugitive named One-Eyed Larry is hiding nearby. But the letter is light. You think for 4 seconds then. Say, "I'll haul water." He nods. Smart, but don't spill it. Water's worth more than gold, and the saloon owner owns a broom she's not afraid to use. You're handed a bucket and a map, which is just a scrap of paper that says, "Turn left, past the broken outhouse." And just like that, you begin your first official job in Dustbite Gulch. You've survived breakfast. You've dodged a death mission. You're holding a bucket and doing something worthwhile. A goat trots by. That goat, it winks again. You're unsure whether to feel reassured or start writing your will. You think that's enough. After 3 days of living like a dish rag in a town full of dust, guns, and judgmental animals, you decide. I'm leaving Dustbite Gulch. A big plan. A plan that needs a strategy. A plan that might rescue your dignity, which has been napping somewhere near the horse stable since part 2. You sit in the blacksmith's woodshed, helmet pot still on your head, clutching your wine barrel lid shield, and scribble your escape plan onto the inside of your helmet with charcoal. Plan to leave town before getting forced into marriage, a duel, or permanent membership in the Water Carriers Guild. 1. Wake up early. 2. Don't drop the bucket. 3. Sneak to the stagecoach stop. 4. Avoid anyone familiar. 5. Get on the coach. 6. Don't look back. Even if someone calls your name or shouts, the goat knows your secret. You nod. The plan is solid. Almost genius. I might suggest turning it into a book. You're just about to drift off when knock. A polite tap at the woodshed. Door. You open it. It's a tall, gangly man in a dark red cloak, broom hair, and a grin with far too many teeth. One of those teeth, the first thing you notice is a dagger, not a metaphor. An actual steel tooth, shiny and sharp like your mood after eating reheated beans for the 4th time. "Hello," he says like a spoon scraping old cheese. "Name's Kevin. Most folks call me Knife Tooth Kevin. You? I see why. Heard you're a Ludo champion," he asks, eyes gleaming. "You? I don't think I ever said that." "Perfect," he smiles. "I like newcomers." You try to close the door gently, but Kevin steps inside like he's returning to a house he owned in a past life. "Sit," he says, laying out a cloth from nowhere and placing a hand-carved Ludo set on the floor. The pieces are beans. The dice are made from fish bones. Everything seems like it used to be alive. You sit because you do not want to offend a man with knife teeth. "Rules are simple," Kevin says, unblinking. "Every time you lose, you share a secret. Every time I lose, I share one. If we tie, we stare into each other's souls for 5 minutes in total silence. You cool, you roll the dice. A 1. A single bean rolls out of the stable. Kevin grins, rolls a 6. He zooms 3 pieces ahead and declares, 'First win.' You sigh. 'Fine. My secret is I didn't know Ludo could be played like this.' 'No problem,' he says. 'My secret is I once kissed a cow on a dare and won round 2. You're learning. You tricked Kevin with a clever side deep. He loses. 'All right,' you say. 'Your turn.' 'My secret,' he whispers, "is I know someone who successfully escaped Dewsbite Gulch, but the price was steep.' 'What price?' 'A front tooth and their belief in friendship.' You chuckle nervously, scoot half an inch farther away. Before you can ask more, Kevin stands up. 'That's enough for tonight,' he says. 'If you want to leave, meet me behind the horse stables at sunrise. Bring something that makes you feel like you.' 'You mean luggage?' 'Number. I mean something that stops you from dissolving into the west.' And just like that, he vanishes, like a breeze. A breeze that smells faintly of fish sauce. You lie down again, your helmet still on, your mind racing. Do you want to leave town? Can you survive a getaway plan led by a man with a knife in his smile and board games in his soul? Is the goat somehow involved in all of this? You close your eyes. The wind howls outside like a dying flute. The polite knocking of the nightly mouse begins, right on time. You smile, whisper, "Not tonight, mouse. Tonight. I have a plan. A new day is coming. A strange escape is about to begin. And your helmet lid is still faithfully guarding your brain. Sleep well, armored water carrier. Tomorrow's going to be interesting." You wake up before dawn, still wearing your metal pot helmet like a night of poor life choices. The mice have gone to bed. The wind still whistles gently through the cracks in the wall. And somewhere out there, the first light of day begins to tint the dusty road with the orange hue of hope. Or maybe just a dying oil lamp. You sneak out of the woodshed with footsteps soft as high school love secrets. The wind brushes your collar like a farewell from the straw you no longer sleep on. You round the corner of the horse stable. Kevin is waiting, not standing and not sitting. More wriggling like he's warming up for a dance battle. Every shoulder twist sends a glint off his dagger tooth in the morning light. "You're on time," he says, stretching like a feral cat. Good folks who aren't usually don't have enough teeth left to bite into a calendar. You nod. You don't ask what that means. In life, there are things you don't need to understand, like onion wine or the existence of Kevin. He shoves a charcoal-drawn map into your hand, featuring a donkey, a well, and a single arrow labeled out. There are no street names, no scale. There is no indication the artist had ever understood what direction meant. "Family heirloom," Kevin says proudly. "My ancestor used it to travel all the way from Dustbite Gulch to Dustbite Gulch, but from the opposite direction. You great." "So where do we start?" "Follow me," he says, heading behind the goat pen. And yes, it's the same goat from earlier, staring and not blinking. The kind of stare that says it has read your escape plan, understood it completely, and still thinks it's garbage. "This is Gerald," Kevin says, patting its head. "He'll be our guide." "Our guide?" Gerald has a good sense of direction. Escape 3 bandit gangs, 1 forest fire, and a wedding without cake. You're not convinced, but you follow. Because really, what better option do you have than a man with a knife in his mouth and a goat who sees the future? The 3 of you tiptoe out of town, walking the dirt path past the cemetery. The gravestones are carved with names like Billy Half, Ahead McGee, and Sally didn't know guns reload that fast. You walk in silence, only footsteps, the wind, and Kevin whispering to Gerald. After an hour, you reach a patch of dense brush. Kevin halts and raises a hand. "Hoof beats," he whispers. "You hold your breath." Kevin steps back. Gerald does too. Maybe in empathy, maybe in self-preservation. From the bushes ahead, a group emerges, cloaked in black, wide-brimmed hats. A drawing of a horse eating bread stitched on their backs. The leader steps forward. "Stop. This is the territory of the League of Lords, who have no idea where they are but like acting powerful." "Kevin." "Oh no, the misguided horse gang. You the what?" Kevin leans in. A group of bandits formed by people who can't read maps but love making threats. They steal what they don't need, demand what no one has, and frequently ask, "Wait, where are we?" The leader approaches. "Where?"